In the news tonight, Israeli Prime Minister Shamir issues an appeal in the Southland. You'll hear it firsthand. More than 40 people are still homeless following a toxic fire in their neighborhood. And the art world mourns the loss of the man who made his mark as the Prince of Pop, Andy Warhol.
Our work week weather is changing fast. Bruce Hershenson answers the question, could the takeover of America really happen here? And we'll meet some strong women who get out of it as much as they put in.
Next on Eyewitness News.
Tonight, America, presented by New York Life and its 9,500 agents and representatives who offer you quality financial products and services to help you get the most out of life. Master Blend Coffee, it only tastes expensive. And the 1987 German-engineered Volkswagens and your Volkswagen dealers.
For an early look at business news, watch our comprehensive new business report, weekday mornings at 6:15 on ABC's World News This Morning, before Good Morning America.
This is Joan London. All this week, Good Morning America wakes you up from Miami, Florida. Don Johnson, Philip Michael Thomas, and Rob Lowe join us, and we'll take you to Cuba this week on Good Morning America.
Watch the weekend report tonight on most of these ABC stations.
Here it comes. Hill blasting, trail stomping, range romping. Everything you're looking for in a rugged, no-holds-barred 4x4. It's rough, tough, brush busting. The 1987 Suzuki Samurai. It's coming on strong. 4x4 by Suzuki. Gravel grabbing, dirt biting, taking you there, anywhere, even places you forgot to go.
A wide roll-on. A wide roll-on. Did they make them?
Introducing Lady Speed Dry Antiperspirant, the only wide roll-on. Ordinary roll-ons are narrow. Lady Speed Dry is wide for complete coverage with every stroke.
Goes on faster and easier than ordinary roll-ons. Lady Speed Dry is great. Helps keep me dry and odor-free all day.
New Lady Speed Dry Antiperspirant, the only wide roll-on.
Number 1 in Southern California. Channel 7, KABC TV, Los Angeles. Now, the Southland's leading news, Eyewitness News at 11.
A 2-alarm fire in a Long Beach high-rise sends residents fleeing into the cold of night. Good evening. Here's the latest at 11 on this Sunday night. It happened on the 8th floor of a condo complex on the 800 block of East Ocean. When the first units from the Long Beach Fire Department arrived on the scene, flames were shooting out of the windows of the condo. They put out the call for help, and a total of 15 units were on the scene this evening. That fire, they tell us, broke out in a bathroom of the condo, and smoke and flames quickly spread. Neighbors were alerted to the danger, and they all managed to get out of that building safely. It took firefighters nearly 2 hours to secure the location. The condo received extensive smoke damage, but there were no injuries. The cause is still under investigation at this hour. Joey.
And Harold, dozens of people are still out of their homes tonight after a major chemical fire in Newport Beach forced their evacuation. That fire sent clouds of cyanide gas over a widespread area. Many people suffered slight chemical burns. And at this hour, authorities still don't know when they can give the displaced residents the all-clear sign. Our reporter, Carolyn Wallace, has the details.
The evacuated residents from 2 apartment complexes and a mobile home park included some tired and impatient young children, elderly and inconvenienced couples. They passed the evening at Whittier Elementary School in Costa Mesa. Red Cross officials here prepared for the night with cots and medical assistants standing by. Just before 9, word came 2/3 of all evacuees would not be allowed back tonight. Several recounted where they were when the fire broke out and contemplated their concerns about potentially hazardous fumes.
I was just trying to finish my fingernails for tomorrow. I have to go to work. And I was trying to do a few things. And I just had to get my coat and my purse and go. I mean, there was no other way.
Just to go out with no diapers or anything, it was very difficult.
I did step in. I had to get all washed down this afternoon. But I don't know about whether breathing anything in, whether it affected us or not.
Fire officials now say nearly 140 chemicals could have been on site at the Hickson metal plating facility where fire broke out before 10 this morning. While no serious injuries or health problems have been reported, there was some runoff into sewers in the bay. A special Pacific strike team from San Francisco has been called in to administer any necessary cleanup. Cleanup and decontamination procedures will continue for at least 48 hours, and in the meantime, the entire area will be monitored for several days by county health officials. In Newport Beach, Carolyn Wallace, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
A new report tonight says that over 2 million Californians suffer from hunger and that most rely on emergency food banks in order to survive. That grim statistic is the result of a study done on the state's poor. Of the total, over 500,000 are single women. 1 million are children, the rest are elderly. Today, the hungry and homeless right here in Los Angeles received a helping hand at the new Jubilee House. The center is devoted to feeding indigents and getting them off Skid Row, they say, hopefully once and for all.
The difference will be that instead of being a revolving door shelter, one that just takes people in, provides them with a bed and something to eat every night, we intend to provide a program base from which clients can springboard out of the row.
The center, located on South Stanford Street, officially opens in June. Today's event was a celebration of things to come. The Jubilee House will work with major corporations to provide the hungry and the homeless with jobs. There was a call for justice tonight in the case of 8 immigrants accused of having links to a Palestinian terrorist group. The government claims the 7 Palestinians and a Kenyan are national security risks and should be deported. But at a meeting in Los Angeles tonight, supporters of the accused claim that they're being singled out as part of a nationwide plan to round up Arab immigrants. One of the accused spoke out.
This case goes beyond just me and my friends. Because of the government succeeded in their attempt, the Arab community, the Latin American community, the Central American community, the Asian, South African, and South Korean communities, and whoever disagree with the Reagan administration policies would be targeted next.
The 8 immigrants were released from jail last week. Their deportation hearings are now scheduled for April 28th. Joanne.
Israeli Prime Minister Yirzhak Shamir will be leaving Los Angeles tomorrow after 3 days here in Los Angeles. At a speech before 2,500 members of the Jewish community tonight, Shamir praised the U.S. government's recent upgrading of Israel's status to major non-NATO ally.
The quality of our weapon system makes Israel a desirable ally. And because of our democratic character and support for United States leadership, Israel is regarded as a reliable and a dependable ally.
Shamir also called upon American Jews to live in Israel and to help build the Jewish homeland of the future there. The Prince of Pop Art has died in a New York City hospital. Artist Andy Warhol died this morning of a heart attack. His death was unexpected. He had undergone gallbladder surgery yesterday, and his recovery was said to be normal. Warhol gained prominence in the early 1960s by producing images of everyday items such as Campbell's soup cans. Those images came to be known as pop art. He also turned his posters of famous stars into museum pieces. From his pale complexion to his blonde wig, Warhol was indeed one of a kind. He rejected the traditional views of society, art, and film as illustrated in his movies like this X-rated version of Frankenstein. He was the master of self-promotion, but was also retiring. After an actress shot and nearly killed him in 1968, he reportedly sent doubles to some public events. Nearly 2 decades ago, Warhol wrote that in the future, everybody would be world famous for 15 minutes. And that prophecy may have turned out to be true for others, but not for Andy Warhol, dead tonight at the age of 58.
Joanne, Andy Warhol may be gone, but his work, of course, lives on to inspire other artists as well as the general public. The Museum of Contemporary Art in Los Angeles has 3 of Warhol's important works on display. Today, an art student told us Andy Warhol definitely has influenced her.
It's very interesting, it's bright, it's energetic, and for a man to have devoted his life to something like that gives people like me a reason to continue things I like to do.
The Warhol exhibit will be on display at the Museum of Contemporary Art through next January. This new museum is located at 250 South Grand in downtown Los Angeles, and it's open every day except Monday. Talk show host and movie producer David Susskind is dead tonight. The 66-year-old Susskind, who was found in his Manhattan hotel room this morning, apparently died of natural causes. His career as a television interviewer spanned nearly 30 years and included interviews with Harry Truman, Richard Nixon, Robert Kennedy, Nikita Khrushchev, and just about anybody who was anybody. Susskind was also a successful film and theater producer. He was involved in A Raisin in the Sun, Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, and Fort Apache, the Bronx. Despite his television success, he was a loud critic of television, calling for higher quality programming and more live productions. Fellow talk show host Dick Cavett paid tribute to Susskind today, saying that he always tried to do a higher order of stuff, as he called it, that was still commercial and entertaining. Susskind had been scheduled to see a heart specialist tomorrow. Joanne.
Harold, some of the details of the Pope's upcoming visit to Los Angeles have now been announced by Catholic Church leaders here in Southern California. During his 3-day visit, starting September 15th, the Pope will hold masses at Dodger Stadium and the LA Coliseum. He will also drive through Chinatown and meet with Buddhist, Hindu, and Jewish leaders. He'll have a 3-hour closed meeting with bishops from all over the United States, and he is scheduled to speak to 1,600 representatives of the news media at Universal City. At least 10 million people are expected to see the Pope in person during his 10-day visit to the United States. Meantime, there's a religious controversy going on in the Inland Empire this week. Two sides are squaring off over a collection of biblical statues in a publicly maintained park. Our Bob Banfield has that story now.
Desert Christ Park is nestled on a slope of hillside among the Joshua trees and yuccas overlooking Yucca Valley. In the park are a number of white concrete statuary representing several biblical scenes. They were sculptured by Anton Martin. After the sculptor's death in 1961, the park was presented to the Yucca Valley Parks and Recreation Department, part of the county of San Bernardino. For 25 years, it's been an asset to this small community. It's estimated that 40,000 people visit the park every year. No fees can be charged. Recently, some residents objected to tax dollars being spent to maintain a religious theme park. The American Civil Liberties Union is involved. They feel the separation of church and state issue is being violated.
So the ACLU feels that Desert Christ Park is improperly maintained by Yucca Valley Park and Recreation District. It's a violation of the separation of church and state. For a municipal entity or a county government to be maintaining a park that is so clearly and singularly religious in nature.
Even though the county council feels the county would lose if the issue is taken to court, the majority of residents here are adamant.
We lost our interest. We lost our faith in our freedoms. We've lost the ability to defend our freedoms.
The Park Commission here has advised their supervisor to do nothing until served with a court order.
The issue of what to do with Christ Park will come before the San Bernardino County Board of Supervisors on Monday. Even if the county caves in to the ACLU threat, the people of this community are going to fight to keep their park. Bob Banfield, Channel 7 Eyewitness News, Yucca Valley.
About 800 Safeway employees could be out of work by the end of next month, the result of a plan by the supermarket chain to sell off 24 stores. The company says the 24 stores are among the smaller and least profitable of its 200 supermarkets. We talked with some Safeway customers who worry about the impact on their communities.
This grocery store serves the neighborhood. It would be too bad if it moved away. And it would be real bad to the people who work here if they get laid off. A lot of people have been through that, and it's hard in this economy to find jobs, so I think it would have a very bad impact.
It seems like every place they're trying to economize and cut down your choices, and it's going to put a lot of people out of work.
Plans to close the markets did not come as a surprise to union officials, who say they expected major changes when the supermarket company was taken over by an investment banking firm. Joanne.
And of course, a lot more still to come here tonight. We're going to discover what the Golden Girls, those women weightlifters, get out of pumping iron. And just ahead, we're going to see how all of us are paying the price of cocaine addiction.
There's a fire-breathing creature Chrysler has imported from Japan. Conquest TSI. The intercooled turbo coupe built by Mitsubishi. So hot it'll smoke the 300ZX and RX-7. Conquest TSI. Now at your Chrysler dealer.
attention, Flight 121 has been delayed.
Good investment opportunities can come when everything is going up and when things aren't moving at all. What's important is that they're good investments, right for you right now. When you're not sure where to invest, knowing about Kemper Mutual Funds helps. Ask your broker about Kemper.
Flight 121 has been canceled.
Hi. About that Kemper Mutual Fund? I think it's a terrific...
There's never a bad time to make a good investment.
It's been said, love is blind. And when it comes to the cost of cars, that may be true. So to ensure you get the performance you paid for, insist on high-octane Chevron Supreme with Techroline. Cleans complete fuel intake systems. Chevron Supreme, because people who use premium really can't afford to buy anything less.
Subscribes to the theory that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line has obviously never driven a Porsche. See the new Porsches at your authorized Southern California Porsche dealer.
Crack. It's the most highly addictive form of cocaine. Users get an intensive high that leaves them craving for more. And as Chris Hansen reports tonight, all of society is paying for this very deadly fad.
It might be called the cocaine epidemic. In 1981, Americans used 35 tons of the drug. In 1985, 65 tons, and it's estimated this year nearly 100 tons of cocaine will be snorted or smoked. It's believed the use of smoked cocaine, called crack or rock, is accounting for much of this increase. When cocaine is smoked, the smoke hits the brain within seconds, providing an intense euphoria which only lasts a few minutes. The high is followed by a severe low and desperate craving for more cocaine.
I spent my savings, I spent rent money, I actually stole money from loved ones. I would jeopardize myself, my life, going into neighborhoods to buy the dope.
The effect of crack reaches beyond the users and the pushers. Cars, stereos, appliances, stolen merchandise of all kinds is found in almost every raid on crack houses. Although crack is so new on the scene, there are no statistics on it alone. Across the country, 50% of all property crimes are drug-related, as are 75% of assaults and 25% of murders. This man has smoked crack and seen others get hooked. We've scrambled his picture and altered his voice to protect his identity.
6 months you lose a job, you go into that mental depression thing. Your mental ability has a lot to do with it. You know, either you lose your mind, or you do something silly, or you die from the physical effects.
But don't think you have to live in the ghetto to get hooked on crack. It's in the middle-class suburbs, too.
I seemed to handle it okay when I was snorting it. Really didn't have a desire or extreme addiction to do it again. When I started smoking crack, I think from the first time I used it, I knew I had to have that high again.
It's that intense craving that's causing the fad to sweep the country. Many hope it's just a fad, like LSD was in the 60s. Unfortunately, there always seems to be a new fad around the corner. The next time it might be something called 51, marijuana laced with pieces of crack or cocaine. This auto worker says 51 is already popular on the job. His advice about crack in any form:
don't even try it, because it'll ruin your life. Once you start, you can't stop.
I'm Chris Hansen reporting.
The state attorney general's office says notaries and immigration consultants are breaking the law by taking advantage of illegal aliens who are applying for amnesty. Some notaries are charging as much as $1,000 to process simple amnesty requests. State law prohibits notaries from charging more than $10 to fill out immigration forms. The problem has become so widespread, the state attorney general's office has formed a task force now to investigate the wrongdoing. And charges against some notaries and consultants are expected to be filed by the end of this month. Well, he's been called the Jackie Robinson of basketball, and tonight, former UCLA basketball great Don Barksdale was one of 8 Bruins inducted into the UCLA Sports Hall of Fame. Barksdale, seen here with former UCLA basketball coach John Wooden, was the university's 3rd basketball All-American and one of the very first black players to play in the NBA. But there were other inductees honored tonight: former track star John Smith, All-American football players Jack Elena and Jim Salisbury, coaches George Dickerson and Bert Brucery, Basketball All-American Dick Linthicum, tennis champion Jack Tidball. They were all shared the spotlight tonight. Past inductees include Jackie Robinson, Coach Wooden, Rayford Johnson, and they all shared the dais with none other than our very own Joanna Shamina, who happened to be the mistress of ceremonies tonight. I was trying to catch you on the monitor, and I got caught looking down at the monitor there.
Oh, it was a great evening, too. And it was a great day for all of sports today.
Oh, it was. And we had the perfect ending to a perfect golf tournament out at Riviera today. After all the great shots they made out there, this year's Los Angeles Open Championship came down to a 3-foot putt that was missed. Sudden death at Riviera, and with a shot at going to a second extra hole, Ben Crenshaw right there, you saw him miss from 3 feet, and that gives the title to T.C. Chen, his first PGA tournament win. I'll have the whole story for you on Sports Weekend. On the hardwood, the UCLA Bruins took advantage of a totally outmanned Oregon team today. Reggie Miller with 22 points, and this one turned quickly into a laugher. 102-71 Bruins, a step closer now to the Pac-10 title. In the pros, James Worthy put an end to an overtime tussle with the Sixers. Right here, James with a running one-hander. Lakers win their 3rd straight on the road. A crazy finish to the world title fight today. I'll show you how England's Lloyd Honeyghan beat Johnny Bumpus to the punch in more ways than one. Boris Becker was all business in winning the Pilot Penn Tennis Classic over in Indian Wells today. Boris in straight sets over Stefan Edberg of Sweden. And at Santa Anita, $200,000 San Antonio handicap goes to Bedside Promise, ridden by Gary Stevens. Bedside Promise first and paying $680 for the win. Hopeful Word second, and Bruiser came in third. Lots more coming up on Sports Week in just a few minutes, so we'll see you then. Harold.
TC, the champ.
TC, the champ, indeed. He did it in grand fashion. He didn't fold. A lot of people would do it under the pressure-packed circumstances.
That's right. He did it.
Thank you, Rick. Straight ahead right here on this Sunday night, we'll take you high in the sky at a beautiful balloon extravaganza. And Dallas will be here with a look at our quick change weather for the week ahead.
This is the new Dodge Ram 50. Now, she might not notice that it's got more standard horsepower than Mazda, or a bigger standard payload than Nissan, or a larger standard cab than Toyota. But then again...
So what do you think?
Maybe she might.
Well, maybe.
The Japanese-built Dodge Ram 50. Who said good looks can't take you anywhere?
Now get 3.7 financing or $500 cash back on all new Ram 50s in stock.
Flight information from America West Airlines.
What do you get when you fly most low-fare airlines? Zip, zero, zilch, a big goose egg. You get nothing except your seat. But America West gives you the Wall Street Journal, a snack. Our low fares even include the cocktails and a frequent flyer program. Now, what do you think about live entertainment, huh? Singers, dancers? We're working on it.
Less fare, more care, by America West Airlines.
A fine wine is a perfect balancing of taste. So is a fine dinner. Le Menu. Each Le Menu has 3 carefully orchestrated foods, like beef sirloin tips in mushroom and wine gravy, seasoned O'Brien potatoes, and broccoli with cheddar cheese sauce. Le Menu frozen dinners from Swanson. So extraordinary, you dare serve them with a vintage wine.
True Value Hardware, it's more than a name.
What's lurking up on those top shelves? Investigate with a 2-foot wood step stool from Ritz Ladder, just $5. It's built to hold up when you need it and fold up when you don't. And it's just $5 as the February hardware value of the month. Look for the banner at most True Value hardware stores and home centers.
True Value.
Well, we certainly hope Dr. George is watching right now at home, because here's a story about one of his favorite activities. Gentlemen, start your balloons. It's the annual Hot Air Balloon Festival in Tucson, Arizona. beautiful day in Tucson, Arizona. As a matter of fact, we were reflecting on the fact that the sky there in Arizona looks much like it does right here along the coast today. Looked a little brisk.
I thought
cool.
I saw Dr. George in there.
Yeah, he likes
Put Dr. George in a balloon over in New Mexico, and he's a happy man.
That's right.
Yeah, it really is pretty beautiful out there today. And tonight, looks good. We have some changes, though, Joanne. As you mentioned a little bit earlier, the weather is changing very quickly in Southern California, and we will have some colder, even colder temperatures coming in later on tonight and over the next couple of days, too. Let's check it out and see what's going on tonight at 11 o'clock. Our skies are clear. The storm system has moved on well to our south, as you'll see in just a minute on our satellite picture. 51 degrees. It's 45 degrees here in Hollywood tonight. 61% humidity. The wind is blowing out of the west at 9, barometer 29.84. Today's high was only 62 degrees. 49 is this morning's low. There you can see the rainfall amount downtown, 700s. They did have almost a half an inch of rain, though, down at Newport Beach. Here's why things are changing. The jet stream pattern, the winds flowing, coming in aloft at about 20,000 feet, bringing in some cold air over the western part of the country, leaving warm weather in the east. Hollywood, Florida today, record high, 85 degrees. This cold air will continue to flow in across Nevada tomorrow, bringing snow across the Sierras tomorrow. We will stay in the sunshine. Satellite photograph tonight at 11 o'clock shows us this. There's the storm pattern that, remember, last night this time was just off our coast. Well, it moved due south. And right now, swirling around out there, a few light showers over northern Baja. That is it. Otherwise, we are clearing out over most of Southern California tonight. The forecast weather map coming up for tomorrow looks like this. The big storm drops out of Canada, already producing some snow in northern California right now. Tomorrow, we'll have a big area of clouds with it, extending snow down to Mammoth. Mammoth will have 6 to 12 inches of snow from this storm. The Southern California mountains, maybe, will have a slight chance of some snow showers coming in by Monday night, tomorrow night, and then again on Tuesday, but not as much as they'll have up in the Sierras. There's a low pressure that's well to our south. The east coast looks good with clear skies from Texas all the way over to Florida. The northeast tomorrow, if you're traveling to New York, look for cloudy skies and a cold day. Here's our official forecast then for this evening. It reads like this. Clear skies. It's going to be cold tonight and even colder tomorrow night. Tonight's low 45 degrees downtown. The valley areas by Monday night and Tuesday morning will be in the 30s. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies, a good day, a lot of sunshine. It will be colder by evening, and the winds will start gusting from the northwest at 15 to 25. That will occur late in the afternoon. Tomorrow's high only 63. Check out your area tomorrow. You'll find out it's going to be a pretty cool day with afternoon highs only in the 60s. On the beaches tomorrow, look for gusty afternoon winds and cool temperatures with afternoon highs along the beach areas only around 60 degrees. Now for the surfers tomorrow, you can catch your best surf tomorrow morning. Manhattan Beach, about 3 to 5 foot breakers. And then for the afternoon, Horseshoe Pier looks pretty good at 3 to 6. Here's the 5-day forecast then. It looks like this. Good day tomorrow, cool. Tomorrow's high only 62, 63. Then wind